Hello, we're going to be doing some repair on a horn for an Alco PA and also some simple service to get this unit running. So what we have here is a pin vise, which is basically a little miniature drill and a piece of piano wire. And I'm going to drill a hole into the horn and not all the way through, just enough to hold that little piece of piano wire. So with these drill bits and these little pin vices, you don't have to push hard. It'll do its own drilling, and if you just keep spinning away at it, it'll come out. Now, I didn't like the way this one came out. It actually stuck. So I'm going back and I'm going to hold down the horn and I'm going to give it another try. So this time I'm going to have a little more luck to get it in there. And just spin the drill, it'll do its own thing. You don't have to press hard. You don't want to break the bit. If you press too hard, sometimes that'll happen. So what we're doing here, we're taking the piano wire and we're just going to insert it into the hole for a test fit on the hole we just drilled. And there we go. It looks pretty good. So the next step will be to glue the actual wire into it. Piano wire is a very stiff wire. It doesn't have a lot of flex or bend to it. So here we are. We're going to give this a try. And this was a little bit difficult as well. I couldn't quite get the thing lined up. And then I have the wire stuck to my finger there in that little scene. And it just didn't line up right. So with super glue, you have a little bit of play time, at least this super glue. So I took it out and I wiped off the glue, and I'm going to try it again. So I'm going to put a little bit of that glue in there, and I have a little bit more light on the horn, and I'm going to be able to slide that in and just hold it right there. So now we're going to let that dry, and we'll go on to part 2 of our horn repair. So with part 2, we're going to drill a hole into the plug that was left in the hole on the top of the diesel from the bottom of the horn. So our goal here, this is going to take a little while, but you want it to. The little drill bits are really sharp. They're really nice. You just keep spinning it. You definitely don't want to force it because it could break that bit. It's never good to be in the middle of this and break one of these. So just take your time and just keep spinning away right in the center, and it will do the work for you. So if you look closely, you can see the little shavings starting to come up out of the middle, and we just keep working, and eventually we're going to see it. You'll feel it when that bit gets all the way through there. You're going to see it drop down through, and you know you're complete right there. So just pull that on out. Go ahead and give that a little sweep off and a blow. And we will go ahead and insert our new diesel horn, or our repaired diesel horn. So I put a little glue on there. There's a little bit, probably too much glue on there, but just be really careful when you're putting this wire into that hole on top. You don't want to get any super glue on your paint, or scratch the finish. The other thing is you do have a little bit of time to work on this on the top to get it set just right. But you want to make sure you maneuver it, and you'll see me do this. I'm maneuvering it quite a bit to make sure it's just perfect, because once you do it, it's going to be set, and you're not going to be able to adjust it very easy after that. So now we're going to look at doing oiling the part B while that's drying. Okay, even though it says oil in these 2 little spots, that's for the motorized units, for the bearings on the geared axles. So this is just a piece of metal underneath there. So putting oil on there will just get it all over your track and make a mess. In this case, I am just going to use a little bit of Labelle 107 oil, And I'm just gonna lightly oil the axles. Got in there, just one little drop, and a little drop right here. And give it a little spin, a little drop right in there, and then one more down in here. Let it kind of run down in there and give it a spin. Then we'll repeat it for the rear axle. So now that we've oiled our B unit, we'll see our dried horn. Seems pretty sturdy, and I think we got a good horn. Let's flip it over. So now on this particular one, when it says oil, you'll look in here and there's a little bit of foam in each one of these. And that's going to go down in here and it will oil those bearings in there that drive the drive gears. So let's give that a couple of drops and we'll see how it goes from there. We may have to take the bottoms off and apply some grease. This thing's been sitting for a while, so maybe it'll need a little bit of TLC in there. We'll take a look. Okay, we've removed the two screws and we're going to lift off the outside truck sides, and that reveals what we have down in here. So if we take a look, here's some 70-year-old grease that I'm thinking is going to need to be taken out of there. It seems to be a little bit on the hard side, so I'll see if I can clean that out, and we'll put a little bit of more new stuff in, and we'll see how she runs. Here, I'll try and give you a little sample of how I'm just taking out this heavier grease. By all means, it should all be taken apart and then cleaned off properly and then rebuilt. But in the case of this locomotive, we're in a bit of a hurry. So I'm just gonna try to get as much of the old grease out of here as I can. And then we're gonna try to put a little bit of Labelle 102 in here. They say, I haven't tried it before, but they say that stuff's good for exposed gears like these, because these will be exposed on the top side. So let's dig down in here, see what we come up with. I can feel a big old goober out of there. So I will finish up with this and move on to the rear truck. Well, now that we have most of that nasty old grease out of there, I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of Labelle 107 to the interior bearings on the inside of the trucks here. I'll just slide a little bit in there. And now we can put a little bit of oil on our little foam cushions right here. And we'll go from there. Next step will be putting on some grease, and then we'll put the truck back on and see how we did. Okay, we're going to try a little bit of Labelle 102. It's a gear lubricant that's recommended for exposed gears, which these are on the top. They're covered up here. I'm just going to put a little bit on the main part of the gears. I might even be putting too much, but we want to make sure they're coated really good. And we'll do the backs and we'll move on from there. So something else I've been wanting to try, they say this is a dielectric lubricant. So I'm going to try a little bit of LaBelle's 107 on the commutators. These are fairly new. I'm not going to worry about cleaning them. I'm just going to place a little drop of that in there. It wasn't even hardly a drop. And just see how that works. I wouldn't have done that in the old days, but I'll try it with this 107. Well, I thought as long as I have the trucks off, we might as well take a little look at the undercarriage of our locomotive here. So you can see the motor, it's all built into the power truck, and then you can see the two covers there where we have our oiling slots, which is what those little foam things are for. So in this case, this side is actually our power pickup. And if we look over on the other side, this one will be a non-powered, and it has a rubber traction tire. So each of these are like that. This one is over there, and this one is here. And so bronze wheels pick up the electricity. Two motors are running at the same time, and with any luck, it'll be good enough to pull our train. So here we have our completed number 470 dual powered A unit. We've got our repaired horn that should give us a little bit more stability, so it's not going to break off on us again. And looks like a pretty good train. Let's go get her hooked up. So when I initially pulled these out of the box, I gave them a try, and the A unit was so gummed up with the 70-year-old grease that it would barely pull the two other diesel units. So as you can see here, just a little bit of service that we did on the wheels worked great. Well, that about does it for this video. I hope that was useful to you for some helpful repair tips. See you next time. All of Science West, the YouTube channel with authentic diesel roar sound effects. This is the B unit. This is the 473. So I'm going to go ahead and take these trucks off to give us a little better access. Just apply a little bit of oil to the axles, and we should be good to go. Maybe not.